Now, I'm not telling anybody that you should do this, but what I will say is that the most important aspect of maturity is learning how to listen to the inner retard. If you can listen to the inner retard, you will become a very rare person. Now, I believe everybody is unique. In fact, I have yet to meet anybody that's exactly the same, even though they might have the same spirits. Like a lot of these narcissists are the gremlins that have the same kinds of spirits as each other, but they're still very different. They're still different kinds of people and different people altogether. However, the best thing that I've seen is that when you are experiencing different people all the time, because they are different people, you kind of just have to listen to your instincts and listen to your intuition. A lot of people will be stuck in their mind so much that they don't know how to listen to the inner retard. And so if you can listen to the inner retard in a way that doesn't minimize your potential for growth, but maximizes your potential for openness to experience, lowers your neuroticism, and increases your industriousness, then you're going to flourish in all ways, because now you're accepting that your inner retard isn't actually your inner retard. Okay, this is instinct and intuition. The more you are capable of being instinctual and intuitive, it seems like the more money you make in life, the better your relationships are, the more that you have resources, the more that you just get to a point where you live more peacefully. And isn't that kind of what we all want? But a lot of people want to stay stuck in their minds, and these are going to be the people that are not rare. Okay, somebody's realizing that you're rare, and it's because you probably listen to the inner retard. But you're not becoming the inner retard, but you listen to it. Okay? It's kind of like how people that listen to their inner child, I'm not saying your inner child's retarded. I'm just saying that if you know how to listen to your inner child, and you know that if you're around certain people and your inner child doesn't feel like the inner child can express itself with wonder and curiosity and etc. around this person, then you're probably around somebody that doesn't have the best intentions for you, right? So if you can listen to your inner child as well as your inner retard, as well as like your inner king or queen, or your inner magician, your inner lover, your inner warrior, you have to listen to these archetypes inside of you and let them be a vessel, or let your body be the vessel for them to express themselves. And if you do this, somebody's going to see you as a rare and unique individual, because they kind of have to, because you're expressing who it is that you really are. And listening to the inner retard will absolutely get you to the places that you need to be. Maybe not always to the places that you want to be, but it will get you to the places that you need to be for growth. And sometimes there's a great quote by Alexander the Great. It says something like those who wait. What does he say? Shoot, now I'm forgetting the passage. But anyway, it's saying like a good person never waits, he just moves, and then everybody else moves with him. Something like that. You get the point. And Alexander the Great was obviously somebody that, one of the greatest conquerors of the world. By the age of 30, the man had conquered so many lands, and he was able to keep them too while he was alive. And he only, what was he, only 32, 34 or something when he died, and yet to this day we still know who he is. So the kind of impact that he made, like he just went out and he just grabbed life by the balls. Like he really did. That man was listening to his inner retard for sure. Because you kind of have to be a little retarded to say like, yeah, I'm going to conquer the world, and people are going to accept it because they have no other choice, because I'm going to kill them otherwise, or I'm going to install local forces and whatnot to ensure that there's a local government involved to where there's not going to be any chaotic disruption. I mean, these kinds of people are rare. Okay, obviously Alexander the Great is one in a billion, but you just being on the narrow path and the narrow way, you're on the spiritual path. The likelihood of people seeing you as a rarity is extremely high, because the Bible says that God's chosen people are a peculiar people. Okay, so what exactly does that mean? Well, it means that you just don't do things the same way as other people. You're just different. You're just different. And it's not like a bad thing, but sometimes people just are determined to misunderstand you. One thing that I've learned doing about 2.5 years of consistent YouTube videos and just social media and making social media in general is that there will be some people that will literally take time out of their day to project onto you their inner retard because they don't want to accept their inner retard. The more that you can accept your inner retard, it's like the better you become. I swear. Because you just listen to what your instincts and your intuition are telling you. You may not understand why you have a feeling about certain things. I'm sure you've probably had these feelings where it's like, man, I got a really good feeling about this. I really shouldn't have a good feeling about this, but I've got a good feeling about this. That's your intuition. That's your instinct. There are patterns of life that occur through time, and your mind is capable of picking up these certain patterns. When your mind picks up these certain patterns, what happens is that you get to see, oh, okay, so if I do this and they do that, or if this happens and then I do this, this is what could happen, this is what can happen, because I've seen this before, I've been here before. A lot of confidence comes from knowing that you're going to be okay. It doesn't always come from, I've been here before. It just means that, okay, I'm going to be okay about this. I'm going to be all right. So confidence and the inner retard in some way are very much combined. Have you ever met those kinds of, like the bad boy archetype, let's say? Some of those bad boys that are not godly, because there's a difference between the godly bad boy, who's kind of like a spiritual outlaw, and then just the bad boy that wants to sleep around and whatever. Those guys are kind of retarded. And then the people that listen to like the pickup artists and all that, those guys are kind of retarded too, because they're so focused on game, or that they're trying to improve their game. It's like the best kind of game that you can have, quote unquote. I don't really, I believe in playing the game, but I don't really believe in having game per se. I guess it's technically a semantics thing, but you see what I'm saying here. But the people that are listening to these like pickup artists and the dating gurus and all that, sure, they have some good things to say, but it's a little retarded to listen to like how to pick up women all the time. Like, don't you have something better to do with your life than try to pick up women? You're trying, like, chasing women. It's I don't think anybody should chase, really, women or men. But it's always better for the women to have a little bit more respect, a little bit more admiration for the man than the man does for the woman. It's not to say that the man shouldn't love the woman. It's not to say that the man shouldn't have compassion or affection or show affection. But it's really crazy to think that, there's got to be like, obviously there's some kind of exchange of energy going on, but if you care about the situation more than a woman, in my experience, I've never seen it happen more consistently, to where if the man cares more than the woman, and it happens consistently, the woman's going to lose respect. And when the woman loses respect for the man, it's no good. And this is one of the reasons why, if you're a man watching this, the best way to be rare in the eyes of a woman is just being able to walk away. Seriously. Because it's so rare nowadays. The simps are everywhere. The simp gremlins are everywhere. The simp gremlins. Oh man. Yeah, the simp gremlins are everywhere. And they're going to be like the biggest snakes that you'll ever see. These simp gremlins, they will disguise themselves as these angels of light and the nice guys and all that, but they are just the worst. Like some of these simps, you know what's nice about working with alphas or dealing with alphas in general, like in the community or whatnot, or in business or whatever? At least you know where they frickin' stand. You'll never know where these simp gremlins stand. The simp gremlin will do anything to take away from you and your girl or whatever, because they worship the pink palace, man. They worship the pink palace, and they don't care about anything else. They don't care about anything else. They just want the woman to be on a pedestal so that he can make her feel a certain way for a second, all for him to just lose himself. And that's why he becomes a simp gremlin. But you know, if you're a woman, the best way to be a rarity in a man's eyes for relationships is to actually have standards and principles and values that are not ridiculous, and your past demonstrates that you have a track history of behaving a certain way. It's very true. It's not very difficult to be rare in the eyes of a man as a woman. Like if you're a woman out there watching this and you're like, man, how can I get the guy's attention and whatnot? Don't try to get attention. Like seriously, don't try to get attention, but make yourself friendly and empathetic enough to be warm and inviting. It's really not that hard. It's really not that difficult. All we men really want, if we want to see, like, if we have a rare woman in our sights, a rare woman is a beautiful woman that knows how to take care of herself. And beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, right? But a beautiful woman that knows how to take care of herself, that isn't available to all these men out here, and that has like sexual temperance, and that knows how to take care of you and maybe cook you a few different kinds of meals. It's really not that hard. For men, we've got to be anything and everything. I once saw a saying in what was it? It was one video on YouTube like a long time ago, but this guy put a comment and he's like, so basically all men have to do is be anything and be everything all at once. And it's funny because like the video was on how to attract women or something, and it was like this woman that was talking about it. Very famous channel. I won't say the name, but it was a very famous channel at the time, and the guy was like getting the advice from the woman, and that was what the guy came away from with the advice. And I thought that was just so funny because it's very true. Like that's what a lot of women expect nowadays. But a good woman who's actually rare, she's not going to expect anything and everything. She's going to adore you even though you're a work in progress sometimes. Like she knows that. Like she knows that you're a work in progress. She knows your potential though. She knows your ambition as a man. She knows that you're going to get out there and you're going to do whatever it takes. That is way more important than just like trying to achieve your looks or your whatever or your status or whatnot. I don't get why this is another, like, guys are not listening to their inner retard when it comes to dating. You ever heard of pheromones? Pheromones are pretty natural. I only wear deodorant. I haven't worn cologne for years. And I think it's combined with semen retention, honestly. Like, where the pheromones make your scent just more strong. I think that's another reason why women are pulled to you or gravitating towards you when you're on retention. But it's almost like, I don't know how to say it other than that, but it's almost like they can just feel the pheromones and smell the pheromones way easy. Like, they're just way more sensitive to it. And of course, I wear, like I said, I wear deodorant, but I haven't worn cologne for years. And I really don't like the smell of cologne either. Like, my nose always gets itchy around cologne. And too much perfume too. Like, a little bit of perfume on a woman is maybe not too bad, but I actually prefer just the natural scent of women too. I don't know why, why is everything so artificial? Stop listening to society and start listening to your inner retard. Man, that should go on a shirt. Like, listen to your intuition and instinct, man. Life doesn't need to be so dang complicated. It just doesn't. But this is one of the reasons why you're going to be seen as a rarity. And I know the whole video today was a bit open, but that's how I like to roll. So I hope that this video was useful and insightful for you, and perhaps edifying in some way, shape, or form. Listen to the inner retard, man, or woman. Listen to it. See what it has to say. You don't have to always do what the inner retard says, but just listen to it. Stop trying to listen to other people who are actually retarded, that don't know anything about true spirituality or wealth or hellness. I was going to say health and wellness, but it came out something else. But still, yeah, they don't know anything about hellness either. They don't know anything about this stuff. They're in hell. They just don't know it, a lot of these people. So with all that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. Peace be with you all. Until next time.